Once again, we're using the vortex method that was created by Mr. George Bruno. Shout out to Mr. George Bruno. Love his channel, love his content. But we're not here for Mr. George Bruno, are we? We're here for the Saturday coffee break. Okay. What time is it right now? It's about 1. Okay, it's 1:06, so it is the afternoon. Had a good day at work today. Went over to my buddy's house, or my supervisor's house. And yeah, I'm gonna have some people over tonight, so it's gonna be fun. So I was cleaning up the place here. Yeah, it's gonna be a fun day. It's gonna be a fun day and night, that is for sure. So, coffee. Doing the coffee first. Oh, great. I gotta find a place to put this. Crap. I'm just gonna put it right there. Actually, no, right here. Perfecto. Okay. So let's get this thing started. That's really good. So it's the donut shop coffee. It's like the basic type. It's something I have every morning. I love this type. You just have the Keurig coffee maker, and they have little pouches, and you put that in, and then it makes coffee for you. And of course, we always do it black coffee, black as night. So what are we going to be talking about today? Read before you sign. Read before you sign. Read before you sign. So now that you've heard it 3 times, probably say it with me. Read before you sign. Now, when we talk about reading before we sign, or at least when I think about that, I think about a contract. Okay, I think about something I'm about to sign, like a contract, like whether it be for a job, or if you're if you're into weird stuff, you sign your soul away to a certain deity, like signing your soul to the devil, right? Hopefully you don't do that, but but signing, but pertaining to a contract. Okay. Now the thing about contracts is that they're really, before you sign, they have a big giant, or they usually have a big giant section of what you're getting yourself into, or at least what you think you're getting yourself into. Now, read before you sign. Now, a lot of us, or if you're like me at least, you just want to skip. You just want to skip to the end. You want to get it done. You don't really want to take the time to read. You just want to get the result, right? If you're a millennial like me, you tend to not have as much patience as maybe, like, let's say my parents, who are boomers, right? Maybe due to the fact that maybe that's just how you are, or the fact that you have social media, or like whatever excuse it might be, you might have a tendency to not have as much patience as you should, or at least with a contract, reading it before you sign it. Now, why is it important to read before you sign, right? Or not just that, not just like signing, but agree to do something, right? Whether it be you're about to paint someone's fence, or about to do some sort of job, or do whatever, or get involved with someone, or get involved in a situation, right? It's important to know what you're going to get yourself into. Read the contract, know what you're getting yourself into before you actually do it, because a lot of the times, and this is especially for young people like myself, I'm 25, people like to keep certain things from you, right? Before you actually start the job, or start whatever, right? The reality, the hidden truth. And the thing is, you usually find that out, right? Either immediately, or long as you go, what the hidden truth is. Now, I'm not saying you should walk around being cynical all the time, being bitter, saying, oh, because this happened, because this person double-crossed me, you should never try anything. I'm not saying that at all. But what I am saying is always to keep your guard up, always to know what you're getting yourself into before you actually agree to do it. Okay, so let's say, like using the example, painting my fence, or painting someone's fence. Let's say my buddy Jimmy, he wants me to paint his fence, and I say, yeah, I'll do it. Okay, sure. Now, the problem with that is, right, do I actually know what color Jimmy wants his fence to be painted? Do I know if he wants it to be coated? Okay. How much is he willing to pay me, if at all? Okay, if at all, or how long is it going to take me, or what days he wants me to do it? Okay, maybe the day he wants me to do it is a day that I have like a Renaissance fair or a family event, but he has to have it done that day, and then without even really asking him what the details were, right, what the conditions were for the contract, quote unquote, I agree to it. Now, disclaimer, or like painting a fence. I mean, it's really not that big of a deal, and I'm sure if it was real life, I'd say like, hey man, I didn't know. Can I paint a different day? But just the point being that there are certain questions that you need to ask, right? The person, right, whoever it is, what you're really getting yourself into, or ask as many questions as you can, and really think about it. Okay, think things over, think it through before you actually agree to doing something. Now, I'm gonna tell you a story. I will tell you a story. So not too long ago, this is like this month actually, and this is the reason why I'm making this video. I was supposed to start a job as a long-term substitute teacher. Okay, so if you guys have been watching my videos before, you know that I went to school to be a teacher. I'm trying to be a history teacher, and eventually I want to be a professor. But for right now, I want to be a history school teacher, or a school teacher who teaches history. So I got my master's degree in education, and I got my teaching credential. Okay, and typically what people do before they start officially teaching is they do what's called a long-term substitute. So they're pretty much the teacher of that class, but they're not an official teacher yet. Okay, so anyway, I won't say the name of the place that I applied or the district, but my professor texted me and said, hey, I know someone who, or like I know of a district that is hiring, and you should give it a shot for a long-term substitute teacher, right, in the subject of history. Okay, and just a second. Long story short, I wasn't given an interview. I was just asked to come in and pick up my, the computer that I would do distance learning with because COVID and everything. And I was told that I would be teaching 5 days a week, teaching 5 days a week, but 2 days would be in class, and then the other 3 days would be online, right? And I felt like a lot of information, a lot of key details weren't really given to me. Now, with this story, I'm not trying to play the victim or anything like that because it was my fault. I shouldn't have gone through with it, but anyway, what happened was they gave me a bunch of papers to sign, right? Saying that I'm going to be a legal employee, blah 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 blah, and the document was 98 pages, and I was like, oh man, I don't want to read 98 pages. So I'll be honest with you, I didn't read it. I just signed. I was like, no, I just want to get started. I know this is what I want to do, blah blah blah. But then I knew that's like something didn't seem right because as I was saying, a lot of information wasn't relayed to me. But I signed anyway without even really thinking it over, without even really thinking, okay, I need more information, or I have all these questions that need to be answered, and like blah, 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 blah. I can tell a whole story about it, but I'm going to keep it a little bit shorter. So the day before I was supposed to start, I was immediately told, right, I was emailed by the district that, oh no, it was actually going to be, I go in there 5 days a week, right? I actually go on campus 5 days a week instead of 2 days a week. And the only distance learning that will be done will be 1 day, and it'll be on campus. So I'll just have to drive the whole way and everything like that. And the thing is, I live in Sacramento, and this place was a little bit down south. It was about an hour, 8 minutes away. So driving there 5 days a week wasn't really going to work, especially since I work at UPS in the mornings, and I was trying to work that out, the schedule and stuff. So long story short, I said, hey guys, I can't do this. This isn't what I agreed to. And I just was like, that's it. But luckily, it wasn't, or this was something that I was able to get out of instead of it being, let's say I signed up for the military, right? Let's say I signed a contract to be, to be, I don't know, a cook, right? Let's say I signed up to be a cook in the army, and then all of a sudden they sent me out in the front lines, actually, in battle, right, and everything like that. And I found out, oh shit, I'm gonna die probably. So it's not as extreme, obviously, because this is teaching. But the point I'm trying to make is I should have listened to my gut, and I should have thought about all these things. Why aren't these questions being answered? Blah 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 blah. Before I actually signed the contract. Okay. So once more, I'm not trying to play the victim here because I was the one who signed the contract. They didn't make me sign the contract. I was just the one who signed it. Okay. So I should have known better. I shouldn't have gone through with it. Lesson learned. I'm young. I was excited about the job, blah, blah, blah. But I'm just lucky that it wasn't something that I couldn't get out of. It wasn't like some permanent position or whatever, that I signed my life away and that I couldn't get out of it, or a situation that I couldn't get out of. So I lucked out, and lesson learned. So read before you sign, you guys. Read before you sign, before you get yourself into any situation that you're unsure about, or you have a lot of questions. Ask those questions. Make sure all those questions get answered. And it doesn't matter how many times you ask them. Doesn't matter how much you annoy them or whatever. You have a right to know before you sign anything, or before you agree to anything. You have a right to know, because it's your life. And if you don't do that, if you don't read before you sign, or if you don't know what you're getting yourself into, you can just jump into it without even thinking, it's your fault. Just like it was my fault for jumping into that. And like I was saying, I'm glad that it was something that I was able to get out of like that. I'm really glad. So as I was saying, lesson learned. Lesson learned. So read before you sign, guys. Because there might be instances where your life might depend on it. That, there will probably be some instances in my life in the near future where if I don't read the contract or whatever, I will really screw myself if I don't take my own advice. If I don't take my own advice, the advice I'm giving to you right now, I need to apply to my life as well. Okay, so I'm not perfect. I make mistakes. I'm human, and we all do, but it's important that we learn from our mistakes instead of keep repeating it. Because the first time, that's a mistake. The second, third, fourth times that you make a mistake, it's a choice. All right, so with that, you guys, enjoy your Saturday. I'll see you guys next Saturday. And apologies for not posting last Saturday. I was in San Diego, and I was spending some really important time with my family. And I just wasn't a lot of time to take time to myself, because as I was saying, I was spending time with my family, and that was a priority last weekend. Okay, so with that, I'm going to finish my coffee and hope you finish yours. See you in the next video. Julian out.